r/AskReddit. Reddit. Forget the useless facts. What's the most useful fact you know? If someone is having a heart attack, they will need to chew the aspirin and not just swallow it. It gets the aspirin into your bloodstream faster. Not exactly 100% related, but if you suspect someone might be having a stroke, you can use the FAST acronym. F. Face. Ask them to make a big smile. Does one side or corner of the mouth droop? Arms. Ask them to stick both arms out straight. Does one arm fail to go up or act limp or weak? S. Speech. Ask them to repeat a simple phrase or sentence. Is their speech slurred, slowed, or unintelligible? T. Time. If you answered yes to any or all of the questions, time is of the essence. Call 911 immediately. Semen washes off best with cool water. Using hot water can cause the proteins to denature and makes it stickier. The width of one finger as you hold out your arm to the sky is roughly equal to the distance that the sun will travel in 15 minutes. Thus, 4 fingers equals 1 hour. This is useful in figuring out how much daylight you have left. If you're going to hide something, hide it above eye level. People never look up when they're searching for something hidden. Maybe not the most useful thing, but it saved my ass once. But basically, if your car is starting to overheat, roll your windows down so you don't suffocate and turn the heat way up. Full blast. You'll still have to get it checked out, but it might just help you make it where you're going. If you use a permanent marker on a dry eraser board by accident, you can write over it with a dry erase marker and then it wipes away. Unfortunately, this trick doesn't translate to substitute teachers who think a smartboard is a whiteboard. Exhale on ascent. If you remember nothing else about diving, remember this. Edit. Scuba diving. People will be inclined to liking you if you ask a favor of them. It's called the Ben Franklin effect. Edit for clarity. This only works if they perform the favor. Simply asking doesn't do much and can have the opposite effect. Here's one everyone should know. If the toilet starts overflowing, duck. Ducking duck. Don't panic. Quickly lift the lid off and push down the round rubber flap in the bottom. This will stop most of the water going into the tank. Then, you'll see a little hose clipped into a pipe. Pull it out of the pipe. That will stop the rest of the water from going into the tank. Congratulations. You've just filled the bathroom up with poo water. Now plunge away. Holding your breath gets rid of the unexpected boner party. For my fellow ladies, peeing after sex helps prevent UTIs. Also, when taking a pregnancy test, make sure to take it first thing in the morning when your urine is at its most concentrated. This will yield more accurate results. Peeing after sex prevents UTIs in men also. A US dollar bill is 6 inches long. Used it many times to measure stuff in a pinch. Also, a big lighter is 1 inch wide. Mixed signals are the type of signal somebody with mixed feelings will give. Right or left? Right or left? Duck it, I'll use my hazards. Use a mixture of baking soda and tea tree oil as a face body scrub and hair cleanser. My blackheads, razor burn and dandruff are gone and my hair is so freaking soft. And peppermint is a natural way to alleviate an upset stomach. Ginger helps reduce gas. Edit to keep this organized. I don't have a recipe, but I believe the 1 part tea tree to 20 parts baking soda sounds right. Then add water until it's a slurry. You can't really mess up the amount of oil. The smell will tell you when you're using too much, and skin tests will tell you your tolerance. Also use tea tree oil for lice and removal of skin tags. When reheating pizza, use a frying pan and cover it on the stove instead of cooking it in the microwave. Use low heat so the bottom does not burn. The cheese will melt and the crust will be crispy and it will taste like it was brand new. Or better. Edit. More than one Redditor got confused about whether or not to put their frying pan in the microwave, so I wanted to clear that up. Don't. That almost anything around you is made by someone under time and cost pressure and probably isn't nearly as reliable as you think it is. The amount of times you need to push down per minute during CPR is the tune of staying alive. The beat, not the tune. Good advice, yo. Off the top of my head, the most useful fact that I know is 5x6 equals 30. Also that it takes 5 minutes to make a pot of coffee where I work. And there are 6 pots of coffee. Why? I work at a gas station, and part of what I do there is making sure that there's no coffee any older than 30 minutes. So if you keep to one machine, I alternate. It's more efficient, and make one pot right after the other. The coffee gets no older than 31 minutes before a new pot is made. I can also be able to tell a customer asking about the age of the coffee at a glance exactly how old that pot is. It also keeps track of what coffee is fresh so I don't dump fresh coffee thinking it's old, eliminating at least some waste. I call it Crunchmouth's never-ending fresh coffee machine system whenever I get to explain it to someone. Boy do I love explaining it. If I ever get the chance to talk to the district manager I want to show him that method so much. Using simply hot water, vinegar, baking soda, newspaper, grapefruit, and coarse salt, I can clean nearly my entire house. Control plus Shift plus ESC opens up the task manager on Windows 7. Also Windows key plus D shows up the desktop. That was actually very useful. I will use it way more than my shadow in a rainbow. Lefty loosey, righty tighty, and 1 degree of bearing at 1 nautical mile equals 33, 1 stroke 3 yards. You can dehydrate a monkey until it leads you to water. If you then feed him salted peanuts and pretzels, does he lead you to beer? When meeting new people, or just shooting the breeze, always remember Ford when you don't know what to talk about. F equals family. Talk about their spouse, kids and their in-laws. O equals occupation. Ask what they do, and or how they got there. R equals recreation. What do you do for fun? Or when was the last time you? D equals dreams. What have you always wanted to do? Where have you wanted to go? I'm in sales, and when I started these helped me out a lot more than I'm proud of. People generally only care about themselves. If you feel like you made an ass out of yourself and you're beating yourself up over it, stop. You're the only one who gives a shit. When you're 16 you care the world about what everyone else thinks about you. When you're 40 you don't give a shit what anyone thinks about you. When you're 60, you realize no one was thinking about you the whole time. Never wash strawberries or any berry unless you intend to eat them right away or they will mold. Drinking a cold glass of water in the morning will wake you up better than a cup of coffee. You can use a Fibonacci sequence to convert from miles to kilometers and vice versa. For example, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13. 5 miles is 8 kilometers. 3 kilometers is 2 miles. If you're buying fresh vegetables, a good guesstimated average price will be $2 each. As long as you're not buying something ridiculous like mangosteens or a durian. Lastly, 1 cup of dry steel cut oats added to 4 cups water. Bring to a boil. Take off the burner and let sit covered on the stove overnight. Perfectly cooked oatmeal when you wake up. Just heat and serve. Holy shit. How accurate is that Fibonacci conversion? That could be one of the most useful things I've learned on the internet. Edit. Okay, I get the point. Multiplying by 1.6 is much easier. Perhaps useful was the wrong word. I got excited due to my fascination with the Fibonacci sequence. Thank you all for all the awesome responses though. Equals. Switching to a sidearm is always faster than reloading. I get so many kills in COD Battlefield Planetside 2 because I switch to my sidearm and my opponent reloads. Never assume she's on birth control. The easiest way to talk to someone is to ask questions about their life. In the continental United States, there are only 2 spiders that can really do any damage to you. The female black widow and the brown recluse. The female black widow is black and shiny all over, and only sometimes has a red hourglass mark on its abdomen. The patterns can vary and include white and orange. Their venom can potentially kill people with already compromised immune systems, the very young, or the very old, but will generally only make a healthy adult very, very unhappy for a while. They make webs in secluded places and do not really leave them, so it is easy to avoid being bitten by them. As they are not aggressive, they'd much rather hang out in their nests than bother with you. Also, not all bites from them are venomous. Many are dry warning bites. Seek medical attention if bitten, but don't assume you're going to die. Brown recluses are light brown with an upside down violin or guitar shaped mark on the thorax. They are, as the name implies, reclusive, and not aggressive at all. They'd much rather run away from you and hide somewhere safe and dark than bite you. Unfortunately, clothes left on the floor and shoes count as safe and dark to them, and the majority of bites occur when unsuspecting people leave their pants on the floor and then put them on after a brown recluse has crawled in there to hide, causing the spider to panic and bite them. Best argument for cleaning your room yet, I think. That said, the vast majority of brown recluse bites are not medically significant, and it's been suggested that a lot of the yucky necrotizing wounds you see pictures of weren't actually caused by brown recluse bites at all, but were just misdiagnosed as such because someone saw a spider in the area and put 2 and 2 together to get 5. If you get a brown recluse bite, just keep it clean and watch for signs of infection. The same goes for hobo spiders, which many people think of as dangerous. There's no hard evidence of them actually causing necrotizing wounds. Any other North American spider's bite will hurt like a bee sting, itch like a mosquito bite, or not hurt at all because their fangs are too tiny to get into your skin. Too long didn't read spiders aren't going to hurt you, even the really scary ones. You can start a car with a dead battery only if it's a manual, by putting it in first or second gear while holding down the clutch, turning on the ignition, get someone to push the car to a brisk jog then abruptly let the clutch out, for success. 1 whistle blast is international whistle code for where are you? 2 whistle blasts is international whistle code for come to me. 3 whistle blasts is international whistle code for I need help. WD-40 is not a lubricant. It will temporarily lubricate parts because it's a penetrating solvent. However, it dries quickly and leaves behind a sticky residue. In a pinch, regular motor oil is an effective lubricant for almost anything metal. Condoms prevent minivans. In addition to that, minivans prevent condoms. When in public, project confidence in yourself without crossing the line into arrogance, and people will naturally be drawn to you in a positive light. 1 kilo equals 2.2 pounds. Control plus tab on your keyboard switches to the next browser tab. Useful at work. When you're looking for something in a room, look in the opposite direction you're used to reading. Thus, Americans read left to right, scan the room or area from right to left. You're used to scanning left to right quickly due to reading. So scanning the opposite direction forces you to slow down and actually think observe. V equals IR. As my physiology professor likes to say, 90% of life is showing up. 90% of the rest is Ohm's law. There's this thing called incognito for Google Chrome users that lets you browse shit without it getting saved into your browser history. I hope my brother reads this. If you lay a wad of toilet paper over the water in a toilet before you go to poop, the chances of splashback are non-existent. A standard household circuit is 15 amps. Don't plug more than 15 amps worth of stuff into it, or you'll blow the breaker. Edit. In Canada, the US, Japan, and a few other places. Edit. Wrote outlet when I meant circuit. For newer houses, there's usually 1 circuit per room. Odd numbered interstates run north and south. Even numbered run east and west. If you have a leftover pork chop bone with still some meat on it, you take this home, throw it in a pot, add some broth, a potato, baby, you've got a stew going. It's a wonderful restaurant. I think I'd like my money back. Also, you can boil a can of ham for a nice bowl of hot ham water. When typing a URL into your browser, simply type the name of the website then press Ctrl plus enter. X. Type Reddit then press Ctrl plus enter. This will add the HTTP and the .com. The safest place to be during an earthquake, tornado, almost any natural disaster is a jail, prison. Source: civil engineering student. Never pick a cat up by the tail. A gallon of water weighs about 8 pounds. From my chemistry textbook, remember, a CA shine is attentive. The average shopping cart handle has more germs on it than the average public toilet seat. In Firefox, Ctrl plus Shift plus T reopens the last tab you closed. When someone is mean, they are probably hurting or confused. Bro, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content. Might. It's free and that's a great price.